Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Auntie, where we have real talk about real life situations. I am your host, Tanya Lynne. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the real, the raw, and the unapologetic with Auntie. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Auntie. Again, I am your host, Tanya Lynne, and I am excited about these two phenomenal women that I have as my special guest. God has a way of blessing you with extra sisters so you can get some extra love right on time. And these two have definitely given me that extra love right when I need it. In the black, with that nice shoulder action going on, we have Apostle Sherise, aka Sherise. And in the red, fabulous, always on fire, Pastor Yulanda. And so, ladies, thank you and welcome to Conversations with Auntie. How y'all doing?
I'm good.
I'm fine, girl.
Listen.
Right, y'all doing wonderful.
We doing good.
I know that's right. And so I was thinking, often in our life we come to a crossroad. Mm-hmm. It could be because of marriage, because marriage is something new. It could be because of divorce. It could be because your spouse passed. It could be just because you've outgrown some people, places, and some things. You might be looking to transition in a job, but whatever it is, I believe that we all have gotten to a place where we're just like, now what? Now what? What is my next move? And back in the day, they used to say, make your next move your best move. And so we're just going to simply talk about some now what's. And there's some product on the table because Apostle Sherise, you are doing some lip bling. That's what I call it.
Yes,
lip bling, baby. Yes. Fabulous lips. And you've also are known for making natural juices. And I have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And right when you were beginning to make your juices, you would make me juice, and it would have turmeric and ginger in it. And it changed the trajectory of my current situation then. And as a result of you introducing certain things to me through your juices, I now am not on any kind of medication for multiple sclerosis.
Man, that is awesome.
Exactly. And so you're always, now what? And you're always coming out with something else. And so we see the lip gloss, but you also have aroma, you have scent, you have fragrances as well. Yes. And you also do custom designing t-shirts as well.
That's correct.
I love that. Yes. And then Yulanda, with you have a book, Creating Your Recovery. And I'm going to let you talk about why you wrote that. But at the same time, you received a reward. You were the national recipient of the Mental Health Wellness Instructor of the Year Award. Wow.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it because you're a black woman doing it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in our community, we say everybody's crazy, and that's just crazy. It's not crazy.
Right.
We just have some things we got to figure out and work out.
That's right.
And so I'm glad that you're in the forefront showing us something that looks like us, okay? And helping us figure it out and work it out. And so creating your recovery, and I was going through the book, and I'm going to talk about the inside of the book, but what birthed that book?
Oh, my goodness.
What was your now what?
It was based on the fact that I knew I needed a change. I knew I was going through some stuff. I was going through getting divorced and going through that whole process. I needed something that was going to push me forward to the change. Because change, of course, as we know, is not easy, but change also has to be something that's tangible. Like, you must do it. You have to do it. And the only way to do it is I had to write something about it as a way of talking about my pain, expressing it, and it's something I can go back and look at too and say, okay, I did this, I did that, and now I've changed.
Wow. That is amazing. That is awesome. And so another change is because you used to rock locks. You used to be lock fantastic, lock fabulous like me. You used to rock the locks.
Yes.
And you went from lock to knot. From lock to knot. And so
That's a good way to put it.
From, I mean, you know, so what happened was,
So as you talk about creating your recovery, I locked my hair in the worst times of my life. That was when I was going through my divorce. That's when I realized I had depression, clinical depression. I was going through all that process. My son had recently died from suicide, so I was going through all these emotions. And so my hair represented that time. This is the new me. That time has passed. I recovered from all those things in my life.
and I understand, you and I just had this conversation a couple of Sundays ago. I completely understand because this side of my hair has been 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I shaved this side all off last May, Mother's Day, Sunday. It was shaved off. And now this represents my new beginning. I'm on no longer on medication. I'm healed. I'm whole. And then my journey into preparing for bariatric surgery. So I have the old that reminds me of my weak areas. Then I have the new that reminds me of the strong areas. So in my weakness, he became my strength. So it's this. So yes, I can relate.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to change up. Sometimes you have to not reinvent the wheel, but sometimes you just got to put some more air in that tire.
Period.
Sometimes
Period.
you got to put some more
You
air in that
gotta
tire.
do something, because mainly one of the biggest issues is that you find out is that for me taking my locks out and going this extreme was that change can happen and I can be okay with it.
And still look good.
Period.
Because the only
Period.
person you have to satisfy is yourself.
Period.
That's right.
Is yourself. So now let me get to you, Miss Apostle Sherise. I mean, how awesome to name your child Sherise, and then when you split it, it's a whole prophetic word, Sherise. And ever since I've known you, you have always risen to the occasion. I just Sherise. Sherise. So tell me about Tell me about Sherise.
It's really very simple. One day I was just sitting in front of the TV, and I was asking God some questions, and the Lord asked me a question.
Well, what was
And
it?
He said, "Do you know who you really are?" And I said, "Huh?" And I was a babe in Christ, so let me back up. So I was in transition to knowing
Oh, that's so
who
good.
I am, or my identity.
Wow.
And so I said, "Well, you made me, you know. Why you asking me? Come on, somebody. Let's just be real."
Come on.
And so he said, "I want you to look at your name." And I said, "Look at my name." He said, "Now spell it out loud." So I said, I spelled it out loud, Sherise. He said, "Now look at it again. Your name is a compound word."
A compound
Two words
word.
put together.
Wow.
And then he said, I said, "Well, she rise," right? To me, it was just such a fresh revelation. And I said, And so at that time, I was a single parent. I was on low income housing. I
Wow.
was on public assistance. And so from that day forward, God began to reveal to me who I am. I will never be broke again.
Come
I will
on.
never
Wow.
be broke again. I will
Wow.
not
Come
have to live
on.
alone again.
Come
I will not
on.
have to have low self-esteem again.
Come
Come
on.
somebody.
Never again.
Never again. I would
Never
This is the end of
again.
this.
This is my
Because I'm going to move to
time.
that.
Never
Hello?
again.
Never again.
Never.
So you
Never
began to speak an
again.
affirmation from the prophetic
Never
word that God
again.
gave you at birth that had just
Oh
got
my
revealed
God.
to you.
That's so off the chain.
And so I believe that Sherise was birthed out of Proverbs
31.
31:15.
Come
Come
on.
Because it
on.
talks about the woman, it talks about the wife, it talks about how the woman made provision
That's right.
for her and her household, and just not her household, but she made even provisions for the maid servants.
That
Those
she
were
did.
the ones who were working
Yes,
for
she
her.
did, because that's what it
Huh?
says.
So she had plenty of resources. Come on, somebody.
But I also think She Rise is birthed out of Proverbs 31:25. Strength and dignity are her garments, and she laughs
Yes.
at your wife properly. You're not being the best example for the other men in the community or your children, you know. And so we have a responsibility to dress for success when we call ourselves kingdom children. And so once we get the inside dress, though, we also have an issue with now dressing our outside. It goes hand in hand.
Right.
So you have
Right.
some people look good on the inside, but the outside, you single and you want to get married, but you're looking like spoiled meat. You're not appeasing. You're not appealing. And I'm not saying you have to wear that, but what I'm saying is take care of yourself. The Sherise whipped butter. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it's so soft and leaves your skin so smooth, and it's like a blessing that you give yourself. You know, because you don't have to be married to treat yourself.
Right.
And then, ladies, when you do get married, that's awesome. That women of God are giving other women and other people of God tools to help them help themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, because I tell people, help me.
Yeah.
You know, help me help myself. You know, I can teach you how to. I can show you how to fish, name, and then push you out there.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what phase or what season you are into me, y'all. God will use you right where you're at.
Period.
Just simply say, God, now what? But be prepared for the answer, honey. Be prepared for the answer. And that's why I chose you two, because we're all in a place of transition.
Yes.
I'm finishing up some books can work for my good.
Absolutely.
And so now as the weight is dropping, I'm feeling better. I'm today 19. And it says call. It says on your own. When I saw that today, I said, all you got to do is call.
That's it.
Tell him what you want. You just call him up. But how many of us really call him up?
Really waiting on us to reach out and touch him. You know, it's just that simple. You think about
On her cycle,
Yes.
she was deemed unfair hustling one day.
Period.
And heard about this man named Jesus. And she heard that he was healing some folk. And she said, I done spent all that I have.
Listen.
And so I'm going to go and tap in because he is the healer.
Yes.
He done made the leopard free. Okay? He made the lame walk, the dumb talk. So I don't
Listen.
care what nobody is saying. I'm going to go get me some. And you're not standing up.
Yeah.
You get right pale, your fingernails get frail, your hair
bowed
starts
over.
you're
all
bound
that.
over. All of
All
that.
that.
All still going to get to this Jesus.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm still going to get to Jesus.
The thing is,
Yes. No.
You know she had a smell.
the way she
Because they
was.
didn't have the hygiene products they got
No.
nowadays. My goodness. Go on, Apostle Sherise. What you
But
want to say?
that's how God wants us to come to Him. If we had it all together, then there's no reason for God.
No
right?
reason for him to
There's
send
no
Jesus.
reason that I can get this together. I do that, and sometimes it's just a mask
and be jacked up.
and be jacked up.
What Smokey say, tears of a clown.
And so one of my businesses is there's glory in your garments.
Oh, I like that.
There's
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to become relational with God. We don't know how to have a relationship
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
with God. And I think that's because fathers or
Yeah.
own mothers or some relationships have been defiled
Yeah.
inside out.
Absolutely.
They need to understand that it's okay to cry.
First day is so important.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
And I believe in every church.
And so she taught us, and we will link you, and she will divorce.
Yeah.
Divorced.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you have brokenness from the pulpit.
You know, once again, one of the reasons also too writing this book was all based on the fact that being in church, I'm a PK kid. I've been in church my whole entire
Yes,
life. So
yes.
I know the word, I know what God is, I know who he is, but also being taught for a long time that he was not concerned about the whole me.
Come on.
He was only concerned about the part of me that was going to go out there and save some people and bring them to church. But he wasn't concerned about the whole me. And so as I wrote this book, and it's an instruction book. And so and from writing this book, all these other things happened. And that's why mental health first aid became my thing. talking about mental illness, dismissing the stigma and pray and mashaka all you want. But if you don't have no understanding about who you are mentally,
That's right.
and that it's not just based on just
That's
a
right.
thing because I choose to be sad, it goes deeper than that, then you won't ever get the true deliverance that you're looking for, because he wants the whole person. And it's a scripture in the Bible that talks about that he wants, he will wrap you around the TBT.
Oh, yes.
I was
Yes.
what are you talking about?
Oh, yes. Like a blanket.
I'm gonna wrap you around.
Wrap you around.
So he
I'ma
wants
cuddle
all
good, the bad,
And the ugly. And let me do this. Let me say this that they need. Some need to talk to somebody, and some need to talk and pop a pill.
That is true.
Yeah,
It's true.
very
And
true.
so if you can take a Tylenol,
For headache,
if you can take
pain.
cough medicine, if you can use some Bengay,
Come on.
if you can reach for your Viagra, then they can go see a psychiatrist, psychologist, and they can take a pill as well.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong
There's
with it.
nothing wrong. Why would God allow man? You're going to want to go to the heart specialist so that they can help you extend your life, because you're going to trust God to work in them for that, but you won't trust God to work with Sister Jenkins because she's been going through a depression and acting out. And instead of y'all saying she's crazy, why don't you say, honey, you need help,
Yeah,
and I'll go with you.
yeah,
I'll go with you.
yeah. It's a balance.
Deacon Johnson, you don't want to get him help. Well, that's just Deacon. No, that's not. Deacon Johnson was broken as a child.
Yeah.
Maybe his youth was taken from him because his father may have died earlier, not been there, and then he had to be the breadwinner, and so he wasn't eligible. He wasn't in the position to get the education that his siblings did because he had to take on the role as a father. And maybe there's some resentment in him that has not been dealt with, and unresolved issues lead to unresolved situations. Hurt people really do hurt people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we're not taught how to grieve. I'm so sick of people telling Christians, you got to be strong. The Bible says, in my weakness, he is made strong. What that means is, in my weakness. See, Tanya's weakness is her flesh. So when my flesh is weak, the God in me then will rise up and keep my flesh and keep me from falling.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
That's it.
So how about you be strong for somebody?
Yes, yes,
And let me just be the wife who just watched her husband take his last breath.
yes. Come on,
Been
come
there.
on.
I was there.
Come
When
on.
I had to whisper in his ear, it's okay. You can go. But just be strong.
Yeah.
You your spouse is still living. How strong you gonna be?
Yeah,
Your child is still alive.
yeah,
You don't know how I feel.
yeah, yeah.
So how about you be strong? How about you be the answer to the prayer and stop praying? Don't you think they done pray for themselves?
Yeah.
How about we do that?
Yeah. I think people get hung up on the fact that I need you to fix me.
Ooh.
I think that becomes a thing. I need you to fix me.
And you're not a fixer. Who died and left you the designated fixer?
Yeah, that I'm a fix. That you need me to fix me. And also too, I was just talking to somebody recently, and I said, a lot of times we find out that our pain births our purpose. And so you find out that the things that you've gone through, all of these things I've gone through has pushed me into the area that I'm in.
Yes.
And that's why I can have a conversation about these things and freely have them. And also too, the Lord's preparing me. He knew my son was going to die by suicide.
Sure did.
Because he already knew. He knew everything. So he prepared me. So when that happened, baby girl, you got all the tools that you need right here in front of you. Pull them out. Use them. And so your grief for me won't be long because I have a work to do. And the way my work is done is talking about my pain and letting people visibly see me.
And it's okay because you took a sabbatical from church.
I sure did.
And people don't know how to step back. They think just because I've said this, just because you're gifted and called to do it doesn't mean it's your turn to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you have to step back so that you can get healed and whole.
Yeah.
I admire you for that.
Well, that was, and a part of me didn't want to do that because I do play a big role in my church.
Oh, yes, you do.
But thank God for my husband. It's good you married a man God tell you to marry for purpose.
Hello.
Don't marry who he ain't tell
Did
you
you
to
say for
marry.
purpose? Did you
for
say
purpose.
what's that word?
For purpose.
Say it
And
again.
so for purpose. And so it was my husband that said, listen, she would be absent for church for a minute. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's what he knew I needed. So support was there. And that's the part that they play. Like, once again, you talk about being married. Are you ready for that? Because support goes both ways.
Hello.
Come
and I
on.
can't support him and he don't support me. It goes both ways.
goes both
and so
ways.
a part of that recovery for me was the support of my husband. Shout out Jeremiah Prude, my forever husband.
Hey.
Shout out his on Facebook. Shout out his show.
His
Battlefield.
show is reporting live from the battlefield. He's on every Monday at 6 p.m. Facebook Live.
And he is one of my guests for next month.
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. I got the men of thunder, the Jesus is their Machiavelli.
Listen,
he said
come
one of his
on.
friends said Jesus is my Machiavelli. I
And
said
he
okay.
Is one of his best friends. And it was something also you mentioned too about health. Disparities based on not having good mental health. If you guys have heard of ASA, Advanced Childhood Study, that study that they've been doing by Nadir Bird, she talks about that all traumatic experiences
Yep.
from your childhood are directly related
Yep.
to physical ailments.
directly
Lord.
from
Directly,
your childhood.
like they have
directly.
studies that's showing heart attack, diabetes, cancer, divorce, all these things, child abuse, all these things directly relate to the fact of childhood trauma. And so once again, you have adults who have not been healed
That's correct.
that are now in a place to where they're now adults doing adult things.
And they've had to carry that, the bag lady,
Forever.
the bag man syndrome.
Yes.
You know, you're going to
Carrying
hurt
it.
yourself carrying all those bags.
Carrying it.
And they just steady carrying them.
because nobody will tell them, put your bag down.
That-
There's no safe place for me to put my bag down, because when I put my bag down, are you not going to expose my stuff?
How about this? Or you're going to open my bag and put some of your stuff for me to carry in your bag. Because people will do that.
Oh, absolutely.
They will dump their stuff on you already seeing that you got the weight of your stuff.
That's true.
And now you got now your stuff then got cross-contaminated. Because now you got their stuff. And your stuff contaminated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, again, if somebody wants to have you come into their church, please contact Conversations with Auntie. And that's going to be Conversations with Auntie, AUNTIE @gmail.com. And I will definitely connect you to her because it's needed. You know, and when you said how childhood trauma, because it's not resolved.
Yeah.
You're carrying it over, and it's what you're overeating.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're undereating.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're stressing. You're
Yes.
turning to alcohol. You're turning to
Yes.
drugs. You know, those are byproducts
Yeah.
of unresolved situations, circumstances, and issues. Because we've all come from the place where don't tell. What goes
Yeah.
on in this house stays in this house. And so because they took your voice, when you become an adult, you repeat the cycle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Daddy beat mommy. I can't tell. Now my
Yeah.
man beating me.
My Lord.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then now your daughter's watching, and then she's going to repeat the cycle, and that becomes the whole generational habit. See, we confuse curses with habits. Some things aren't curses; they're just habits. It's learned behavior that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. You know, and it reminds me when my late husband and I was going to class to become a foster parent. They said for every year of trauma that a child experiences, it sets them back 10 years.
Yes.
I believe it.
So
Yes.
imagine,
Yes.
you got a 5-year-old, they're dealing with 50 years now of trauma
Oh, yeah.
at 5.
At 5.
Yeah.
Because that's how, if if you're not graced for that and given the gift, you can't help them because you're going to take it all personal. And it's not personal. They're trying to get themselves out the quicksand of life, you know? And sometimes I think we're too easy to take quick offense
Yes.
because we don't understand somebody.
Yeah.
But maybe if you get to know them and have a conversation with them, you'll understand just why they operate, why their Metron is the way it is, why their mode of operation is the way it is. Because most African Americans, I would say many, they operate on a survival method.
Oh, yeah.
On a survival method. You know? So now, Sherise, you said never again. Your daughter, Kayla, was on the show
Yes.
2 months ago. And she said that you taught them, we're going to take our food stamps, we're going to get some fruit, and we're going to cut it up, and we're going to make juice. So you was, even in that situation, you knew that was temporary. It wasn't a permanent place for you.
That's correct. Yeah. I almost want to say that I was almost like in a survival mode. Because I knew I had to care for my children, and I didn't want to keep asking this person for this or asking this person for that. Part of it was because of shame as well. So I knew I had to do what I had to do legally to support my children and myself. And so, we will pack up fruit, cut it up, put it in nice boxes, package it, and we would take it to the hair salons. We would take it, I would make sweet potato pies, and I took it to Archie's. Archie's Bakery.
Yeah.
And I'm not from Cleveland, but coming and visiting, I know about Archie's Bakery.
Yeah. But see, at that time, I was very young. You know, I didn't really know about business. And when I took my pie to him, he said, "Who made this pie?"
My goodness.
I said, "I did." He was like, "You?" Because he probably thought I was like a teenager or something at that time. And I said, "Yes." He told me to bring it back. But I never, he said, "Well, you can make some more. You can bring them back and put them in the store." But because I was so young and so naive, I didn't do it. Can you imagine where I would have been if I would have obeyed the voice?
Well, not only that, I think we need to, as kingdom people, we need to stop looking and start seeing. See, I can look over there, but I'm really not focused on, I'm just looking, but I'm not seeing. Had somebody saw you
My Lord.
and mentored you, sometimes we just need to help somebody, God, be somebody's GPS.
Yeah.
Be somebody. Well, I thought they knew. See, I would rather tell you and you tell me you knew than me not tell you and you tell me you did not know. But look at what you're doing with it now with your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are to
Yes.
her what somebody should have been to you.
Yes.
Talk about that flyer.
Yes, ma'am. So we are doing a back to school giveaway badge.
Let me see it.
Yes, ma'am. August the 2nd, we're going to do a back to school giveaway bash. And I thought it was just so phenomenal. It was in my spirit to do something, but I just didn't know what the Lord wanted me to do. Now, at the same time, I never did discuss this with my daughter. And so she came to me, she was like, "Ma, I think I want to do something." And I said, "What?" She said, "I think I want to do a back to school
Wow.
bash, a giveaway."
Wow.
And she's also a licensed cosmetologist as well. And so she started telling me all of the things that she wanted to do, and I said, "Do it. You have all the tools."
And she's
that you
into
need.
women's wellness.
Yes. You have all the tools. I see you just plug that in there. You have all the tools that you need to go forth. And so even today, as I was at home, it was like the Lord was telling me, this is the man. She is carrying your mantle.
Hey, come on.
Carrying your mantle. Who?
That's
See,
good.
I'm getting too old.
She's
now.
dancing in the
Come on,
sparks
come
of her
on.
mother.
Hello.
Hey,
on.
God.
Come on.
And I
Come
don't
on.
even say I'm getting too old. I'm getting ready to be launched.
Come on.
Yeah, because you're transitioning.
And so
Yeah.
she needs to, you know, her and my son, they need to take on some of these responsibilities and some of
Absolutely.
these things and move with it. And so I just thought that was phenomenal. And I just, if we have any donations, if you want to donate book bags, any type of school supplies, we are now accepting them. She's going to be doing little girl's hair.
Wonderful.
Nothing grown. We doing ponytails, bobos, and French braids.
Little
Come
girls
on.
are going to be little girls.
Little
Hello.
girls are gonna be right. Gonna be little girls.
That's what we doing. We doing lineups and things
And
like
please make sure if you bring your children on August 12th, please make sure you have shampooed his or her hair. Bring your child with clean hair.
Yes.
You don't want them to get a style in dirty hair. So at least it's free. So the least you can do
Yes.
It's shampoo your sons and your daughter's hair. And again, it's Wednesday, August 12th, 2023. The time is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until the address is 16801 Euclid Avenue, 16801 Euclid Avenue. That is in the city of Cleveland. The state is Ohio. The zip code is 44121. Free basic little girl hairstyle, no weavables, and free lineups for boys. Again, August 12th at 11 a.m. So definitely don't say that you couldn't afford to when people are saying we're here to bless you with it. And if you want to come and donate your services, please come and support as well. Yes. And again, you can tag any of us on Facebook or send an email to Conversations with Auntie, as Conversations with the S at the end, with Auntie, AUNTIE @gmail.com, and we will get you the information.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, listen, when God told me to do a podcast, he told me to keep it real and to deal about real life situations. Because of who I am in Christ, God will always come up because that's who I am. I'm a God being. But it's not God focused. Ain't nobody, well, you might speak in tongues when you at home with your husband. hey.
Come on.
But you got to understand, you got to learn how to wear your different hats.
That's
absolutely.
Because you can, somebody's hungry. Don't come shabba-da-da-da. And they don't want to hear that. Don't, Jesus. How about you be Jesus? Feed them. They'll be more receptive to than what you feed them spiritually because you've met the physical needs, and so the least I can do is allow my podcast to support other people. Yeah. And I'm very mindful of that because it's not about me. I'm always going to shine. You know why? Because I'm his child.
Period. You're a daughter.
I'm his daughter, period. I'm always going to, in darkness, I shine because he's the light of the world. And if I'm his child, then the light of Jesus is in me and I'm always going to shine. Always. But when God gives you something, it's up to you to share it with somebody else so that everybody else is shining. And so I thank you and Kayla for doing this because it is needed in the community. And other churches need to do this in their areas, in their community, or come together and do something citywide. Support what somebody's doing. How come you can't see what somebody's doing and then pour into them and support them? Yeah. So
it's enough to go around.
So this is actually birthed from Kayla.
Yeah,
this is
Kayla.
not Sherise Ministries. This is birthed from, out of her spirit. And I'm just here for the support.
Because she's also an instructor.
That's correct.
Yeah, she's an instructor. Correct. She's a licensed cosmetologist. She's focused on women's health, and she's also an instructor. So she's an educator as well. And this is dear to her heart.
Yeah,
And we want to send our girls and boys back to school looking good.
Because when you look good, what?
You feel good.
Come on.
Listen.
You look good, you feel good.
You feel fabulous.
And if you feel good, then you respond good.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
You respond good,
That is correct.
And sometimes we see certain situations and circumstances, and I tell people all the time, you just thank God that that's not you, and that's not how you had to do, because you don't know what's going on the other side of that door. Listen, you got the working poor out here, barely making it, make too much money, $2 too much to continue to get food stamps or get assistance with daycare. They're doing the best they can, so I just definitely commend her for doing that because it's needed.
Yes, it
Period. It is just needed. It is needed. And so let's just talk about some grown stuff now.
Come on with it.
So how long you been married?
I've been married 10 years.
And how long you been married?
It'll be 3 years in December.
I was married 7 years and 7 months before my husband passed from the effects of cancer. What do you like most about marriage?
The sex is good.
I know that's right. And it's legal. Yes.
It's also nice to come home to someone who you can trust. That the love is mutual between the two. It's nice to have a companion, someone you can just tell things to that you wouldn't really express to other people,
Yeah.
and you can say it to them how you really, really feel.
Right. You ain't got to be all apostolic-y.
Listen.
Apostolic,
I
yeah.
be
Apostolic-y.
the hood Sherise.
Right.
Okay. And so I love everything about Timothy Warren. I love everything about him. I just, that's my homes.
I like that.
I love him.
I love that. You know what I love about your husband? He's mindful of me too. When he goes to the Amish country, he gives me my little cashew crunch. Yes, yes. And it's a blessing when you have a friend, a sister in your life where it just flows over to other areas, like her daughter just loves and respects. That's a blessing, you know? Now, listen, so I'm going to tell this. I was sitting on her porch. It was during African invasion. I was sitting on her porch when they took some stuff over. And I said, you and Jeremiah gonna get together. Y'all gonna be married. She said, sis. I said, he like you. He don't even know he like you yet.
Wow.
It wasn't long after that she said, sis, guess what? I said, I knew it. I knew it. And I just love looking over, seeing you two at church holding hands and I love, that my late husband and I used to do that. That blesses my heart. So what you like about marriage?
I love the fact that he sees all of me. He sees all of me. The good, bad, the indifferent, he sees all of me, and he still chooses to love me. And it's unapologetic. Like, it's everything. It has something, like, even when people talk about me cutting my hair off, when I was talking about the transition, the first things folks said was, he letting you cut your hair?
He letting you
cut your hair? And I was like, you know what? Yep, he is letting me cut my hair. And, even someone making a comment that, that he... and I've had this comment a couple different times about, most black men don't like bald-headed women. And I said, guess what? They might not, but my husband loved me.
Okay.
He loved me. And so he said, whatever you choose to do, babe, I got your back. No matter what it looked like, we're going to be okay. Even to the point that where I went and got my hair cut and done. His barber and my hairstylist are all in the same shop. And so when I got there, Harry Smith,
Chad.
and then Chad. And when I got there, it was so funny. They was like, listen, JP done already came in here and set the atmosphere. He said, we better take care of you, and we better make sure everything come out the way you want it to come out. And I was like, look at that man. So he sees all of me. So the best part of being married to my husband, my forever husband, as I call him.
Yes, I love that.
He sees all of me. I can be exactly who I need to be, and he okay with that through all of my transitions.
That's a blessing.
And that's when you talk about one, it's one. It's really that. Because as you say, yes, the sex is fabulous. But when I want to, he okay with that too. He ain't looking for nobody else.
Come on, sis.
I ain't got to worry about that.
Come on.
Because me and him have had those very kind of conversations. Like, I know some women out here got some hourglass shapes and some other different stuff happening. But guess what? I ain't got to worry about my husband because I know he sees me.
That's correct.
And so that for me is the part.
And that goes when I said you either looking or you're seeing. When
Listen.
you see somebody, that's intention.
Yeah.
That's intention. He intentionally.
Yeah.
They're both, Timothy and Jeremiah.
Yes.
Are intentional.
Yes.
About you too.
Yes.
I think that's what I miss. I miss being a wife. I can't wait till I get married again.
Come on. It's coming. It's coming.
And let me tell you,
can't
I told
wait.
God the other day. I said, God,
Listen.
y'all.
I already know.
I said,
Be the flower girl.
I said, right. I was supposed to be her flower girl.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it and I had COVID and couldn't be.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah.
And couldn't be. Yep. But I was just glad they got mad. I was happy. But I told somebody the other day, I said, I was talking to God and I said, God, you made me a wife. So now you got to legalize it. I said, because I'm a wife without a husband. You got to do this thing now. Because you made me a wife.
Listen.
And I'm a good wife.
Listen.
A good one. I can't wait to have to go home and rub my husband's back because that's what I want to do, not because that's what he want me to do. I can't wait to cook for him in every area in my marriage.
Come on. Come on.
I can't wait to rub his feet, draw his bath, and bathe him. I did it for my other husband. I can't wait. to surprise him and send him flowers. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, God, you made me a wife, so you need to come on in here now
Hello.
Listen.
and show me to my husband.
Yes.
Show me to him. Because I ain't looking for him, but when he come, I'ma love.
Listen.
What's your
Listen.
name? What's your last name? That's going to be my name.
Listen.
You know, so I think that is so awesome how you both, when I said you went to your heart and you spoke from your heart. You know, people need to understand marriage is not easy, but it is sure enough worth it.
Absolutely.
You know, but who said life was supposed to be easy?
Listen.
Learning how to walk wasn't easy because we got up and we fell. We got up and we fell. Bumped our
that
head, but we
Frankenstein
didn't
walk.
stop. Right, that Frankenstein walk. And them little hard sole shoes and you clunking and stuff.
Looking
But
like
guess what?
Frankenstein.
We didn't stop walking, did we? Absolutely. And so we don't start working on marriages. We don't start working on relationships. We don't stop pruning our children just because they're grown. We
Listen.
continue to push them. We continue to invest in them. So now, looking at you now, what would you have told your younger you?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. What would I have told my younger you?
As you thinking, can I make a comment
Yes.
about you saying, God made me a wife? That right there is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Because I think if women realize and think about, are you a wife? Not I want to be.
Or you want to be married.
I want to be married. No, I am a wife. I got divorced and got remarried in 2.5 years and got married in 6 months. Like it wasn't like it was like, oh, bam, wait all this time. And not saying that's not everybody's story. Mine was definitely my story. But I prepared. I knew I was a wife. I just had to wait until my husband decided to come on board. And he came on board.
Oh, he did.
Because
he
I
did.
am a wife. I know what that really means.
And when you know that you're a wife, you don't worry about sideline dates.
No, no.
You know, I date with a purpose.
Period.
And some people, oh, are you dating someone now? I take myself out to dinner, breakfast, and lunch. I can take myself on a trip on a cruise. I can do that for me. Until God presents me to my husband, I can do that for me. So you don't have to wait and be like you sucking lemons, because I'm planning a boat ride for some single people.
Come on.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's get it. Let's go. You know, let's go do a dinner cruise or something. Because it's not sin. We make everything a sin. Just because that's your hang up don't mean it's everybody else's hang up. Stop putting your hang ups on somebody else.
Ain't nothing wrong with the boat ride.
Ain't nothing wrong
I'm
with
married,
it.
but you know, I was on the boat ride too.
Yeah, but you married. Yeah, but
I
you know,
guess
we don't
we
want
can
no
do a marriage boat ride.
But you gotta do that. So
Yeah.
what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, Sherise, don't be afraid.
Ooh.
Do not be afraid. Reach as high as you can. Don't be afraid, because I struggle with fear a lot and anxiety, and it stems from my child. It stemmed from my childhood, and it took an effect on me. It took an effect on me. So I would say, Sherise, the younger Sherise, don't be afraid. You can do whatever you put your hands to do.
Absolutely can. Yulanda,
that's
what would
good.
you say? So wait, before you answer, Apostle Libby said yes, legal sex.
Legal
My
in every
niece-
sense of the word.
Legal. My niece Kimmy Kim says, meet people where they are. Can't minister to a hungry person and expect them to comprehend. Bianca said, hello. Marriage is not easy, but it's worth it. Kelly Littlejohn said, this is good. Apostle Jeremiah Prude. Your husband said, amen to that. That's probably that good sex comment you made.
Hey, brother.
What's up, honey?
And your mom was watching as well, Renee. Mom Renee was watching. And so Lois Swanson says, listening, enjoying. So those are some of the feedback that people are giving. And so, Yulanda, what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself to write it down.
Oh.
Write the vision and make it plain. Because there's so many things that I forgot that God told me to do. Only because I didn't write them down. I didn't write down his promises. He whispers in my ear constantly. This is what you have to do. Once again, the purpose of my book, reminding myself of what it is I'm supposed to do to recover. Because I don't have to be in the dark and just sit there and wallow. I can be okay.
Wow. We got people sending in stars. My niece sent 50 stars. We got people sending stars to our broadcast show.
Come on, stars.
To our podcast. You know, I would tell my younger self, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a broadcast journalist.
Wow.
But because we saw Barbara Walters and Howard Cosell and who was that guy on 60 Minutes, all of them. Wasn't nobody brown skinned and pretty like me.
Come on.
And then Oprah came and she took my job.
Girl, listen.
But that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And so now I'm doing okay. But I would have told myself, you know, go for it. Believe in yourself, girl. Don't take no for an answer. Just because they can't see it doesn't change what you see.
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't and remember that just because they can't see it, it does not change what you see. Because the vision was yours that God gave to you. It wasn't a conference call, so everybody not be able to see your vision. But just because they can't see it, do not let your vision die.
That's right.
Because Auntie said so. And so we got about 6 minutes left. And I want to get into this book because I want the people to know where they can get the book and where they can get your products. But back here you have self-reflection sheet for day 19. So I have morning, evening, and prayer. So I can, after reading my devotions, I can write down what I got when I read it in the morning. And then as God is whispering in the evening, I can write that down as my day closes. And then I can simply write a prayer to him.
Yes. Yes.
This is a daily GPS, God's protective service.
Absolutely.
This is phenomenal. So where can people purchase Creating Your Recovery by Yulanda Prude, Prude, and it's Yulanda.
Yes, please spell it correctly because you will not find me no other way. It is definitely Yulanda. It's available on Amazon, but you can also come and purchase my book at the church, New Hope Fellowship Church. I do have it there as well.
Which is 16100 Euclid Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio. 16100 Euclid Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio.
Absolutely. And you can also purchase it at T&K Pest Control up on Euclid. In
Across from the Taco Bell on Euclid Avenue,
it's right
East
there.
Cleveland.
My wonderful husband decided to take my books up there.
That's right.
And put them on the shelf. He was like, let me go see how I can get my wife books
That's right.
on the shelf. And so you can also go and purchase a copy from there as well.
You sow where you want to grow.
Period.
Huh?
Period.
And how can we get some of your stuff, Sherise?
Well, you guys can hit me up on Facebook, and you can also hit me on IG. That's SHE_RISE 321 on IG.
That's easy. 321. You're just counting backwards, not 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And again, if you have any questions, you can always email conversationswithauntie@gmail.com, and I will definitely direct your email to the right person. We have 4 minutes, and what I want to do is talk about the God in you. I'm talking about the God in you, and I'm relaying this to my viewers. You put a prophetic word on this book, and this is the word that I'm going to read you, my viewers. I want you to receive this prophetic word for your life. The Lord is saying, know that you have chosen to live your life with me. I am going to show you things that you have never seen before. You are going to have new abilities, gifts that you have never used before. Your life will be forever changed. I love you, my child. Welcome home. Don't stop. This is not the end. You have only just begun. As we say at New Hope Fellowship Church, do not do it. If you're scared, you just do it scared. And if you need somebody to partner with you, somebody to pray with you, somebody to encourage you, somebody to speak over you, you are again welcome to reach out to any one of us on social media. You are welcome to send us an email. You're welcome to visit us at 9:30 or our 12:30 services at New Hope Fellowship at 16100 Euclid Avenue. Our pastor is Chief Apostle Joseph Prude and Apostle Sandra Prude, his wife. Our pastor is 70 and off the chain. We have a holy hip hop nation at our church. Our pastor was rapping years ago, and now he's rapping. Man, oh geez, we have a dynamic youth ministry, a dynamic children's ministry. We have seasoned people. We have newborn babies. We are relevant. We are impacting our community, and we are transforming and changing the trajectory of people's lives. We believe that you do not have to suffer in silence. We believe that Jesus came so that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And so I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you for supporting me. But the best thing I could give you right now is the gift of salvation. So if you've never prayed the prayer of salvation, I want you to repeat after me now. God, I'm a sinner. Forgive me of my sins. I believe Jesus died for my sins. Jesus, come into my life. Thank you for coming in. Forgive me. I repent of my sins. Guess what? You're saved. That's all it took. God bless you. I love you. But God loves you most. Until next time, smooches.